Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Super excited to be here with you again on this fantastic Sunday morning. It is finally fall here in lovely New Hampshire. I'm here to hang out and talk about real estate. For those of you who don't know, I'm the Lumberjack Landlord. Currently 137 units, will be soon 145 when we finish our next project. Excuse me. But we talk about all things real estate, and super excited to be here, answer your questions today. Topic of the day today is contractors ripping me off. God bless it. Unbelievable. It's just crazy to me. But what I wanted to do is take you guys through, this stuff happens even to me. And when I say even to me, it's not like, oh, look at me, I'm so special. But I am a little bit different in most cases because I've done, almost 100 rehabs. I've managed crews. We've done it kind of all. And so in this process, we spend, I don't know, $500,000, $750,000 a year with contractors. So we're not a big, huge outfit, but we're also not new construction, because new construction, you can look at it and go, well, to build a house is like 300-400 grand. So you're building two houses. Who cares? No. We touch probably between 15 and 25 units a year. And so that can be, lipstick rehab. That can be the lumberjack package, like we like to call it, which is electrical doors, trim, and floors. And then we kind of have a full gut, a full depth gut. We have that option as well. And so what's interesting is, we always talk about your net worth being based on your network. As so your network is your net worth. When we talk about that, the idea is that as you build out your network, you have wholesalers, and you have real estate agents, and you have bankers, and you have contractors and subcontractors, and maintenance people and cleaners, and you have all of this big, huge network that you put together, because that's why the first 5 years is so hard. It's hard getting deal to deal. It's hard, coming up with a down payment for the next deal. It's hard taking the next, making the next step, if you will, in building that team, because let's face it, you're not throwing a lot of volume at anybody. It's like, hey, I have a cleaning twice a year when you have maybe one building. And so for us, obviously, when you scale, you need to have those things in place. And so almost weekly, our cleaners are being brought in for something. When I say our cleaners, we don't own the company, but they're one of our subcontractors. And so what we always are is we pay very quickly, is we pay right when we get the invoice. And so when somebody doesn't get paid right away, they have questions, as well they should. And so what ended up happening in this particular scenario was a contractor had worked over the last 6 weeks for us, asked for invoices. We asked and said, hey, let me know, like, that job's done, shoot me something over. And the reason that you do that is because you want to manage the contractor. And depending on how you've negotiated the deal, it could be a number of different ways. That could be a flat rate project. Well, if they're just going to keep on putting in change orders and not getting your sign off on change orders, and then give you a bill for $4,000 more than what you were expecting, right? That's going to create a problem. That's a bad contractor. And then they deserve to have a conversation to figure out what fair and equitable is, because if the customer didn't agree to that change order, then what are we talking about here? That's why good contractors do the change orders. I'm not afraid of paying a change order. Sometimes stuff changes based on something they find. They might rip out a door and go to replace it and realize that the sill's rotten. That sometimes happens. Well, am I expecting them to replace the sill for the same price? No, that's unreasonable. That's unfair. If I were in their shoes, I wouldn't say, sure, let me just do all that extra work for nothing more. Makes sense, right? So the idea is, in having that conversation with them, it's the law standard, and Hyder will jump in here, I'm sure, which is awesome, is there needs to be a meeting of the minds. The meeting of the minds is contract, signature. Contract, signature. Contract here, and a contract, all that is here's what we believe we are doing. And based on here's what we believe we are doing, here's the price associated. Now, the price can be done one of three ways. It can be done flat rate, i.e., or fixed price. So flat rate is, we say it's, let's say $1,200 a day. So, excuse me. So $1,200 a day, that can be the agreed to price. And that might be for, in this particular case, it's 3 people for $1,200 a day based on an 8-hour day. Right. And so we don't pay for lunches. We're not the union. We say it's 8 hours. And so if you're there for 8.5, then you took a half-hour lunch, fine, whatever, good. And so there's challenges when they send over a final bill, or when they send over a bill and it's for 4 different projects for $32,000. Because now guess what I got to do? Now I got to go through and I got to crawl through the minutia. And here's the thing. I'm not on site every day. And when I'm on site, there's no one there. There's no one there because I'm not going during the day. I'm going after work. I'm going after dinner. I'm going and checking these places out afterwards. Or I'm there at really early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, before my whole household is up. And so that's how I take a look at my job and see what's going and see how it's going. And so getting this bill for $32,000 is completely asinine. And then the contractor sends me this on Saturday at 3 o'clock and then says, let me know when I can come pick up a check. What are you, nuts? Seriously. Are you nuts? He's known all along for the last 2 weeks. We've been texting him, calling him. Hey guys, this isn't done right. This isn't done right. This isn't done right. The next crew behind you, this isn't done right. We're fielding calls from the sheetrock company. We're fielding calls from the painting company. We're fielding calls from the project manager. We're fielding calls from our project manager. We're having all of this craziness around the trim guys not doing their job. Or saying, hey, yeah, it's done. Wasn't done. Wasn't done. And this is where you guys, I know you guys are tired of hearing me saying it, but this is where I had to talk to my guys. Hey guys, people do what's inspected, not expected. When they tell you that they're done, awesome, fantastic news, walk it. What we learned and what was learned in this process was that people do what's inspected, not expected. And so I don't expect my guys to be perfect. Certainly they make mistakes. Certainly there were some oversights on this, but I can promise you, I worked the numbers and they're nowhere near 32 grand. So they're going to be offended. Now, again, at the end of the day, there's plenty of bad contractors out there. There's plenty of good ones. This one clearly needs more management. This one, when we have made the agreement at $1,200 a day, we made the agreement that it was 3 guys, but the owner of the company, the lead carpenter, that he was going to be on site for those days. And when we started texting him saying, hey, your 2 guys are here, where are you? He's like, I'm on another site. I'm on another site. I'm on another site. Well, we also knew that he went 12 days in between being on location there. So he wasn't seeing the work. We didn't hire his crew. We hired him, and they're not doing it to standard. And we've got a bunch of phone calls. We had a bunch of issues. We let him know about all of those issues with phone calls and text messages. And hey, where are you? And hey, when are you showing up? And hey, when's the next time we can expect you? We had made them an offer because we were on a push in September to get this done for October 1. I'd cleared out an apartment for them. I had beds for them there, ready to go. So they had a place to sleep. They had a fridge for food. They had a stove for cooking. They had a microwave for food. And they had a couch there. So couch, beds, and places for food. The idea was they were going to come up for 3 weeks and bang out all of these projects just one day after the next, because they're about an hour and a half commute away. So I said, I can save you that commute every single day and I'll put you up in the place, no charge for the place. And because of that, I'll pay you a bonus for an 8-hour day and a 12-hour day or a 10-hour day. I will pay you a bonus because I got to be done by October 1st. When they submitted the bill, they expected to be paid based on that schedule. Can anybody read the calendar for me? Yeah, 10/29. We're not going to make the 1st of November. Forget about the 1st of October. That ship has sailed. And last time I checked, Michael J. Fox still has the DeLorean. So there's nothing that we can do about that situation. So no matter what, the contractor is going to be felt wronged. He's going to feel like we ripped him off. Right? And so we're literally just trying to work with them to come up with what the fair number is based on the fact that they don't get the enhanced rate because they didn't stay here for 3 weeks and they didn't bang up the job before October. So I lost $8,000 in rental income. I lost 2 tenants over it. The other 2, they were in a flexible spot where they said, we still love the place. We still want the place. We can move, sliding scale, all good. But I lost the other 2. Lost the other 2 tenants because I kept on having to delay their move-in. And it was solely on the shoulders of these contractors. 100%. Hey, we're done. Okay, awesome. We'll get the painters in there. Painters get in there and they get to one of the units and they're like, there's a bunch of stuff that's not done here. Now, mistake on our part for not inspecting. It was 100% mistake on our part. But we need to be able to trust our contractors that when they say it's done, and that they did it to a level of quality. In one of the rooms, they actually installed trim that was too small for the gap between the sheetrock and the wood trim. So mud and putty and everything else, guess what? I'm getting back charged. I'm getting back charged from the painting company because they're not mud and tapers, but they're like, hey, in order to finish our job, we got to do a little bit more work that's not ours. Number one, nice of them to do that, right? Nice of them to do that, be willing to do that. Here's the thing. They're going to charge me a fortune for that. And I can't just get somebody over there and finish it up and take care of it. Can't. It's going to slow them down. And then that costs them money because when they look at a job, they price it based on this is how fast I can do this. And when it takes longer time, it can't cost them money. It has to cost me money. That's fair. It's the right thing to do. So this one contractor has caused problems by not showing up, not following through on what they said they were going to do. This contractor has created massive amounts of issues. Massive. So that $32,000 bill, we went through it. And that bill is significantly less. It just is. He charged us the same $1,200 rate for 3 guys. He charged us that same rate for 2 days, for 12 days, 13 days. Guys, do the math. 13 days, even if we're only accrediting the lead foreman for the same rate that the other guys are being quoted for, then that's only $800 a day, not 12. And we would never, ever credit the lead guy at the same rate that we do the others. That's never the case. Ever, ever, ever. So if he's usually 6, they're usually twice the price. If he's usually 6, then the regular guys are 300. And that's $1,200 a day. So we have to have a conversation. All right, so what are you worth an hour? If he says, well, or what are you worth a day? I'm 600 a day. Okay, then your other guys are 300 each. Well, no. Okay, then what are you? Well, then I'm 400. Okay, fine. Here's a contract. We'll hire you. We'll give you a job full time. $400 a day. We'll give you a job. Here you go. For those of you who can't do the math real quick, it's $50 an hour. That's $50 an hour for a finished trim guy. That's a lot of money. Now, when you own the company and he takes on the insurance and he takes on the FICA and he takes on all the other taxes, when he takes on all the other expenses, when he takes on all that, that's why we pay that $50 is they're taking on all of that other responsibility, all the, literally they place the order, we pay for it, but they place the order and we get the material delivered because we don't want them and their small businesses having to carry a $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 material bill. So as we look at this situation, there's definitely things that me and the team could have done better. But the fact of the matter is that if you're billing for 26 days over a 7-week period all at once, you can't expect that you're going to get a check in 2 hours. That's absurd. We pay guys right when they're done. But what they do is they tell us on Wednesday or Thursday, they literally have the conversation. Hey guys, we're going to be done in 2 days or 3 days. Awesome. Send me all the hours up until then. That way I can validate, or send me all of the days up until then. So that's the other thing. We offered more money for longer hour days. Well, he then sent me screenshots about 5:30 every day of when they were sending stuff off. The problem is I knew that they didn't get there. He didn't send me any from the morning. Why? Because I know they don't get there till 9. Do the math. 3, 5, 8, and then a half. That's an 8.5 hour day minus lunch. That's 8 hours. So when you're sending me all this stuff, proving your point, we were there till 5:30 every night. Great. You didn't start until 8:30 or 9 every morning. That's not a 10-hour day. Let me help you with the math. Math is a strong suit. So these are the things that you can kind of go through with these contractors. And again, he's not purposely trying to rip me off. I guarantee he has guys telling him, yeah, we were there this much and we got this much done. And yeah, we're all done. We're all set. Painters disagreed. My guys, after they walked it, they disagreed. They were like, yeah, no, it wasn't done. Guys, what are we talking about here? What are we even talking about? So the good news is that we will find a path. The bad news is there's no way both of us don't feel completely ripped off. The fact of the matter is we could have done a little bit better. We should have done a little bit better. The other fact of the matter is they should have done a lot of bit better, because to even get that bill that says 32 grand and have it show 13 days for 2 guys and have it still be the same rate is a bunch of bullshit. That ain't happening. And for him to count the number that I said he could have when he was here on site, giving him an apartment for 3 weeks where he could just come and bang out work. Do you know how many contractors would love that? Would love saving 3 hours a day in the truck? And I was giving them the unit for free. Wasn't even charging them for it, because my goal was to get the job done and to help take it easy on my contractors. So they could literally show up. The place that I had for them was literally 7 minutes from the job site. 7 freaking minutes from the job site. Had showers, kitchen, everything ready for them. So I will certainly let you guys know how this one turns out. I don't want to pay anywhere near that number. In fact, the number that we came up with was actually a lot closer to like 18. It's like 18. It's not 32. That I can effing promise you. Sorry, realized I was on YouTube still. So at the end of the day, I give you guys these stories to share with you. Here's how you fence things in. We just truthfully never have an issue like this with our contractors. And it's because we do these other steps around it. We know, is it hourly? We've even priced out jobs where we say, hey, it's $150 a window for a trim out. We provide the trim. It's $150 a window for the trim out. It's $3 a foot for baseboard. And we do $175 for each door that you have to hang and box, or hang and trim out. So we've done contracts like that. That I actually like, because if they're faster, congratulations to them. But obviously the door has to pass the spec. Every single door that I open can't automatically shut. Not a feature. That's a bug. It needs to be properly installed to know that the door stays when you leave that thing open or shut, and that there aren't gaps in the wrong spots. So this is one of the reasons I encourage people to take my course. I encourage you to take the course because we teach you how to manage all of these things, how to properly get people to price things, how to really get an understanding of how things are priced and what different angles there might be. One of the ways that I get through a house so quickly, when I'm literally walking through it and I'm able to price it all up right up here in my head, is I know the square footage and I know what my cost per square foot for flooring is. I know what the number of windows are. I know what my cost per window is. I know what the cost per trim out of window is. I know about how much linear feet of baseboard I have. I know about how many boxes in the kitchen I'm going to need. I know about how many lights that they're going to be how many lights there are going to be. I know how many panels there are going to be. I know how many circuits we're going to need to run. That is the point that you can get to in your real estate journey, when I can walk through a building and within 10%, I'm going to get the number. Within 10%, I'm going to get the number of that. And most banks, when you're doing construction loans or rehab loans, they want you to have a 10% contingency. The best part is I rarely tap into that contingency until, the great health event happened, because prices on product was skyrocketing. Check out Uneducated Economist when he talks about lumber. Guys, if you're not following Uneducated Economist, it's a mistake. He does great topics, really talking about the market, how they're connected to each other. Simon is fantastic. So that's why we do the course. That's why we talk about the things that we talk about. Is I want to make sure I'm giving you guys a leg up when you're negotiating contracts with contractors. Listen, if you aren't the best poker player at the table and you're wondering who the worst one is, you very well might be that person. If you're wondering who the best person in negotiation with a contractor is, and they've done 100 of these and you've done 2, I got bad news. They're going to be ahead of you. So what you have to do is you have to have a great contract that really understands it. And if you don't have that contract, at least something in an email that says, here's the expectation, this, and this. Let me know if I missed anything.